Alright everybody, it's been a long time since I've done any updates, but it's now August of 2020 and we're still working, things are still getting done, it's just taking time and money. And so I'll give you some updates here of things that have happened since I don't even know when the last update was. But first and foremost, some of the more fun things you get to do is build little models. So I did buy couple houses here. This is the one that I put together so far. I put lighting in it too. That's why you see the little test piece there to hook up a 9-volt battery just to make sure it's all working, and it is. I think it was last year, I put together this warehouse. Nothing special about it yet. I haven't really figured out what I'm going to do with it, but I have a feeling I'm going to put it to good use. It's a really nice building. It was a Walthers model, if I'm not mistaken. Real big, just a fun piece to put together because it actually went pretty quick. Track laying wise, I'm kind of in the final mode of figuring out exactly what to do, where I'm going to put some industry, have some things going on. Obviously, I have a spur track here that's kind of unfinished. I think it's going to serve as a dual programming track. For the most part, I program on the main, but it's optional, something that I could do. I have it in the switch to do a main and a programming track. Haven't really done much with that yet because I just had a program on the main most of the time. One other thing that I did accomplish on track laying is put this together here. This is a coal mine, Walthers. Real nice assembly. This thing was stellar putting it together. One thing I tried differently because I like to light these buildings up, and I know I've read mixed results on people doing this, but I used aluminum tape on the inside. And then when I light it up, it really does shine with a nice glow through the whole thing, even with one bulb. Lots of reflections going on there. So I think that's kind of something I'm going to experiment with a little more and see how it works. But as I said, it seemed to be a pretty good way to do things. So I'm going to actually extend this track out just a little bit more. Probably, as you can see, I have a board that separates here. This is an update from a long time ago that I built these two, this and that helix down there, to separate. It was a compromise with something my wife wanted to do at the time, but now I don't have to worry about this becoming detached, so it's probably going to become more permanent. But in the end, I still build everything to be separable and movable for just the unknown, and just got to think ahead. So today I actually finished laying the track work back here on where the train's passing through right now, to be just more of this is going to be a hidden track that just proceeds behind most of the action layout, as you can see as it comes through the tunnel here. And so this will be kind of some hidden staging. Not really what I wanted to do, but ultimately I have a feeling that that's where it's going to end up. So the thinking there is to have a slope or a hillside coming off of here and going down, and having a town placed on the slope down to the main level here. That's kind of been the thought all along. I'm still sticking to that. This little spur track here, what I'm thinking will come off and kind of sink down just a little bit, and maybe once this is all raised up, have this building back here for some rail loading potentially, and the same for that track down there, which goes straight on. You'd like to think one day it could be for future expansion. Never rule it out, right? In the meantime, it can just be some probably just a holding track for extra cars for the coal mine. So the idea with having some staging was more just to have extra place to store a train or two and some of the extra rolling stock. I don't have a lot right now. You know how that goes. One day I probably will. Wish I built more staging. So this will be the longest of the tracks is this one right here. It can hold, pretty much a full width train for this size of a layout. And then those back there can just be used for whatever. They're not terribly long. They're not too short, but you can fit probably another train of this size that's running now on that track. The first one back. Another thing I did, I don't remember if I went through this too or not, is cut a little hole. I cut a hole here, and I cut a hole in the other helix over there just to make sure that if needed, I can get back here whenever I build this up to be whatever it's going to be. Obviously, visually from a model railroading perspective, everything looking from the front, which is the front looking that way, will look like it's scenery. The back end, all of this, what you see on this back end, will probably be much more open to access. Areas like here, where there's going to be a train coming this way and probably proceeding to some type of tunnel, I'll probably have a divider here so you don't see light or other trains operating through this track right here. Operationally, this is probably the best running railroad. Derailments are minimal, even through the sections where I built the pull-aways. As you get older, you do spend a lot more time making sure things just roll right, and it's really much worth it. I wish as a younger model railroader, I would have spent as much time making sure things roll as I do now, because boy, it's nice to see a train just run. The only problem I tend to have now might be some decoupling issues, and that's just because I'm using a mix mash of coupling types, and I've switched some over to the Katy type. I have some Atlas, which tend to bend under strain. So in the end, I'll probably be switching them all over. But the train here is running good, considering I just laid a lot of this track over this past weekend. It's run over all four tracks now, and it is doing well. Okay, I'm back to the front of the layout now, and one other thing that I'm going to show you here is a turnout that I added after the fact right here, and that is going to serve some future industry there. I have that old freight depot from who knows how old that thing is, missing some pieces. And I've also experimented a little bit with the automatic decouplers, which is what that magnet is here. I've never, ever used them. Never even thought about using them. But now from a operational standpoint, I think they're pretty interesting how they work, and it can really add some neat functions to a model railroad. So that spur just ends abruptly right there. And just to show you the house lit up, it doesn't have rooms divided yet, but I did black out some windows intentionally just to make it more realistic. Not all houses are all lit up all the time. I'm just using some generic LED in there. I bought a multi-pack off Amazon. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, I just wanted to show you the coal mine lit up, as I was talking about having using the aluminum foil in there. As you can see, there's only one bulb in there, and it's actually located on this side. It actually does a fairly decent job of distributing some light through the whole thing. Obviously, I would center the bulb more permanently in a proper location, but it does a decent job of lighting up the model. It's a good-looking model, though. I really recommend it for anybody looking for a coal mine. So anyway, that's where things stand as of August of 2020. Look forward to working on this a lot more, and probably start some scenery things next, as most of the track work at this point is done. So, as you can tell, things are moving forward. Thanks for watching.